just like the show you're listening to right now. The opinions expressed are those of the individual host. Check out all the other great podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Stephen Jondrew.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., a Marvel Comic Universe podcast, number 114, discussing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 14, titled Watchdogs. This podcast is recorded on Wednesday, March 30th, 2016. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Agent Carter, Marvel's Daredevil, and Jessica Jones on Netflix, and the general Marvel comic universe.
Because Axe Shotgun!
If you would like to talk to us about the Axe Shotgun, you can check out our website, legendsofshield.com, where you'll find all of our contact information. You can hit us up on our voicemail line, if that way we can hear your lovely voice. 844-THE-BUS-1. That's 844-843-2871. You can also hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and YouTube by searching for Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or you can check out the GonnaGeek page at youtube.com/GonnaGeek. And you can find all of the other podcasts on the network at GonnaGeek.com.
All right, so we know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, who is this guy? Why is he here? Where is SP? Truthfully, I wanted to talk about the CW television show, The Flash, but since SP has me under contract where I'm not allowed to do any other podcasts aside from ones that he's on, I thought I would hijack this episode so that Haley and I could talk some
right.
Flash.
So we're just going to talk about The Flash this whole time. It'll be great.
Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and nod because I'm really behind on The Flash.
No, he's away this week. He'll be back next week. I think something about stalking and restraining orders from Agent 13, something about that. I think the bail's pretty low, though, so he should be back next week.
Yeah, everybody chip in a nickel. Then we will all own a nickel's worth of SP.
Which, I think that's 100% ownership, so...
Well, I am Stephen Jondrew, and I have been on the show a couple of times before. I was invited on by these nice ladies to fill in while SP was away. I will do my best not to put out terrible terms like cancellation canary, and I will do my best to try to redeem myself from that, but my apologies in advance.
Yeah, you're kind of going to have to do some pretty good work to make up for that because low blow, man. Low blow.
I know, but I'm so excited that I was wrong on that, by the way. That was super exciting to hear, and yes. I am a huge fan of that show, of Agent Carter, so it's great to see. Great to see.
Yes.
So this time on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we are going to, of course, talk about the episode called... what? Called the Watchdogs? The Watchdogs? Yeah, that's right.
Just Watchdogs.
Just Watchdogs. Sorry, I put a "the" in there. That's my apologies. Then we're going to talk a little bit of other Marvel news. We're also going to get a little bit of a tease of some happenings that Lauren has this coming weekends. And of course, as always, there will be highlights from the live chat room. As a reminder, this podcast is on the GonnaGeek.com website, as well as the video companion found on the GonnaGeek YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/GonnaGeek. And I'm going to turn it over to these nice ladies to follow up for the giveaway that we had last week, because there was a bit of an amendment to that, wasn't there?
Okay,
yeah, so we did the Deadpool crate giveaway, and the competition was the blind date between Deadpool and Peggy Carter. And Born to Eat Bacon sent us an awesome script, which we performed live on the podcast 2 weeks ago? Is that when we did this?
I believe so. I might have been a week ago. I don't know. When you podcast, everything just blurs together.
It blurs together.
Yeah.
But at the time, I played the role of Peggy Carter, and Lauren played Deadpool. Well, after winning his prize, Born to Eat Bacon sent us a little gift, which is a continuation of that script. And we decided this time we'll switch roles.
All right, so who's going to start us off here first?
All right.
You have to do the narration, and then we do the parts.
You do the stage directions.
Oh, you want me to do the stage directions? Oh, sorry. I apologize. Okay.
Put on your theater voice.
Here we go. Ahem, ahem. Peggy heads off on her mission with Deadpool upside down in the passenger seat.
Is there a reason you are sitting like that, Mr. Poole?
Thought it might make you less boring, or at least afford me a glance up your skirt. Wink, wink.
You want less boring? You'll love our target, my target, darn.
Oh, you mean you really are after an assassin? Thought you were blowing me off. Cool. Who is he? Can I kill him?
He is a she, and she is named Dottie.
Seriously?
Yes.
You blew me off to intercept a deadly assassin named Dottie? Dottie?
Dottie is a trained Black Widow assassin, extremely deadly, and, well, nothing...
Peggy turns off the headlights, then the engine, and coasts to a stop without engaging the brake lights.
We're here?
Deadpool exclaims as he spins around in his seat.
Yes. Now stay in the car, Mr. Poole. I can't be responsible for your safety.
Oh, yes. My safety. Of course. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Carry on. Quite right, governor.
Stay in the car, or I will you myself. Got it, Mr. Poole? I assume you mean kill.
Sorry, were you saying something?
Howard, by all that's holy, I will end you.
Peggy exits the car and heads towards the building. Bravo, Born to Eat Bacon. Bravo. An amazing, amazing piece that I personally would like to see hitting Netflix soon. That's my thoughts.
I hope we get to reprise our roles in the Netflix series.
I don't see why not, but I think, though, you might be tied up a little bit when Marvel does hire you as writers, because I heard that's happening.
Yeah, it's in the works, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're going to call any day now.
I mean, if they know, what's good for them, we're here. We got ideas.
Absolutely. Well, I have a feeling that will not be the last that we will hear from Born to Eat Bacon, and I look forward to the next chapter. And now that I've said that, that means you have to do it if you weren't planning on doing it, right? All right. Well, let's just dive into the main content here and get into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This week's episode titled Watchdogs. There's no "the" in there. Who was it directed by, Haley?
Jesse Bochco, who has done several episodes already of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Girl in the Flowered Dress, Heavy as the Head, Love in the Time of Hydra, and 4,722 Hours.
And I think we mentioned this before when we talked about one of those previous episodes. He's also Stephen Bochco's son.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
And it was written by who, Lauren?
Drew Z. Greenberg, who has also written the episodes Face My Enemy, Who You Really Are, Among Us Hide, and several more.
This episode, it was a pretty amazing episode considering what it was coming off of. In my opinion, that was a very hard last scene to follow last week. And for me, this episode knocked it out of the park. It had a great balance of emotion. And also, you could still feel the inner conflict of Mac that was residual from the previous episode. I thought it was a well-done episode all around. How about you?
Not as good as last week's, but that would be hard to top.
I really loved it. I was so glad that we got to see so much of Mac. I really like Mac, and I loved seeing, this conflict between him and his brother. The strain that's been going on between, his personal life and his professional life, because everyone that we've seen we don't really see all that much of a personal life. We see either they're orphans or all they are really is a professional life. And with him, I mean, he has this younger brother that doesn't know about what he does and who is kind of as non-sympathetic to it as you could think, considering that he's kind of prime target for Watchdogs propaganda. And I really loved seeing that whole, that Mac wants to say, hey, you're wrong and this is why, because I know this because I have all this information that you don't, but he can't because it's a secret. And then, of course, we get to see the interplay between Skye and a little bit of Mac, but mostly of Skye and her growing up and Coulson and Lincoln. And, it's a good episode of people kind of rebuilding and refinding their place on the team now that Bobby and Hunter are gone.
I agree. And for me, I thought that part of the great emotional movement that I felt from this episode was not just with Mac. It was actually with Daisy and sort of the conflict between her and Mac, but also just the general sense that I think she does really have more growing to do because she's making these decisions which aren't really for the good of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's kind of dug into her identity as an Inhuman, and it seems like her character is so drastically different from who she was before, where she was opposed to the government and fighting the government and trying to get all these secrets out in the open,
seriously,
things like that. And now she's totally Big Brother. She's like, well, I can track down their identities. It doesn't matter if they think they're anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching the episode and I'm thinking back to the first time we see Skye when she's the one who's trying to track down these government figures because it's like the way I put it yesterday was information wants to be free, but she's very much like the definition of the hacker for good. And here you see her being like, these people don't need to know this stuff and essentially torturing somebody. Like she went a little bit too Jack Bauer, and I wasn't really comfortable with it. Mac wasn't comfortable with it. Fitz doesn't really look comfortable with it.
No, and that's the part for me where I'm just like, okay, I'll Jack Bauer you for a while, but now you're using Fitz because he's not going to say anything, and you put him in harm's way. Like, oh, come on. That was
Don't
when
do that to my science babies.
I know. Now Daisy, I don't know. I might just have to call her Skye in protest.
No, Daisy is not the same person as Skye. I mean, Skye was innocent. Daisy is seeing some stuff. And I kind of wonder, like, I'm starting to think back, like, when did she have this turn in her character? Was it after, the Hydra reveal? Was it after, the Inhumans reveal? Was it after she realized what her mother, her was really like? Or was it just kind of a slow buildup and we didn't really realize it until faced with like this situation?
Yeah, and I think that's a very interesting point that you make there is when did this happen? Because it does seem like it was somewhat rapid.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, I feel like it's the frog boiling thing. They say that you boil a frog slowly because it won't notice like small incremental changes in temperature. And I feel like maybe this was the small incremental changes in character. Michelle Ely in the chat brought up Ward. Yeah, I think Ward and realizing, all the stuff that Ward did and just having that very personal betrayal definitely helped to bring about this change in her character.
And then again, being betrayed, like finding the parents that she's been looking for so long, and then it turning out that one of them is completely evil and the other is not so good.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, and it does all add up there. And I think, like, for me, this episode, it really was an emotional episode because these aren't the only sort of people that we get this emotional sort of conflict resolution, or not even resolution, but just handling. You've also got the whole Mae Simmons, very candid, open sort of feeling dialogue between the two of them.
Yeah, you have Simmons dealing with her just tremendous survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
And May trying to help her in her own very May way.
It's true, but I think we see sort of the result of May's emotional journey that she's been on here is for a little bit it looked like, okay, so what, she's just gone hands up, who cares about Andrew? But we see that this is something that has been weighing on her for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And we just haven't seen what she's been doing. So pretty interesting there. The other sort of thing that I really, it stood out to me on this here, and I don't know necessarily as a good thing or not, but did anybody get the feeling that, yep, it's Marvel movie time because we got so many movie drops in this? We had the Avengers reference, we had Ultron reference, we had New York directly talked about. Like, it's definitely ramping up to Marvel movie time.
Yeah, and they're getting ready to drive this into Civil War. I think SP said this before. We're getting ready for them to establish the roots of this Civil War that's going to be happening. While there's the big screen Civil War, we're going to see the same kind of conflict probably in the TV show.
Yeah. I really loved seeing it all ramping up. I forget who it was in the comments on Twitter was saying that it really, really looks like, yeah, we are ramping up to Civil War and seeing that playing out here on the small screen. And again, I love it. I love knowing that we're watching this small part of a, larger connected universe.
Yeah.
Nerd in me is just very happy with that.
So while I'm watching this last night, I have a couple of things cross my mind. And one of is that we've got still this obvious hatred towards S.H.I.E.L.D. that is a result of the Cap 2 events. Then we also have this Inhumans imbalance on the show and an obvious amount of mass public who is a little bit afraid of Inhumans. Mm-hmm. And now we have Daisy, who is pushing the envelope, as you said, going Jack Bauer. Do we get the feeling she might end up falling out of S.H.I.E.L.D? That was a thing that crossed my mind, is she might be headed down that territory and that path that she now takes on almost a little bit of a villainous role.
I don't know about villainous, but she might go rogue for a while.
Yeah, she's definitely taking on a much darker role. It could be interesting to see her leave S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while. I don't see her becoming like an antagonist. But after the events of whatever confrontation happens with Ward, whatever big thing Civil War, and however it's going to affect Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is building up to, I can kind of see her maybe striking out on her own for a while, deciding that they're not doing enough to help Inhumans, and then maybe eventually having to kind of come running back home to her, parents effectively for help.
Yeah. And I think
okay. Did it really, really seem like Coulson was giving Lincoln like the shovel talk here? Like the boyfriend meets dad talk.
I thought so.
Right?
I thought a little bit, yeah. And especially the part that he drops there, he's like, "So you're doing this for Daisy?" And I got that feeling too. But I did like the way he handled it, right? Like he originally comes in, and I don't believe for a second that Coulson wasn't for a moment there thinking that it was indeed Felix. Is that his name, Felix? When he comes,
yep,
yeah, Felix Blake.
Yeah.
So when he comes down to that underground, whatever it is, basement, I think that, yeah, for sure, he thought that was really Felix Blake, and then he quickly determines what's going on, and maybe not quickly, but he determines. Yeah, I love how he continues to use that scenario to really test Lincoln.
I feel like some of that exchange between him and Blake was him kind of testing out the theory. Like, okay, will Blake move? Will Blake do this? Poke and prod at him. And like you said, he couldn't go like 2 seconds without interrupting you. So he's testing for the lag.
And it's typical Coulson, right? Because he sees a situation that is surprising to him, and he still goes with his original idea, which was to really test Lincoln. That's why he brought Lincoln along, and he makes the best out of it. And I actually got a little bit more respect for Lincoln because he did stand up for Blake, what he thought was Blake, right? So to me, Lincoln grew. I didn't really like Lincoln, and starting to like him a little bit, and I could actually see him eventually coming around and being the one that talks down Daisy.
I could definitely see that. Because, okay, if we go again with the whole Papa Coulson, Mama May thing, kids don't always listen to their parents. Kids are going to screw up. They're going to hit like a rock bottom point, and they're going to have to either find it on their own, or they're going to have to like have a peer be the one to tell them, look, you messed up. I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with my friends. I've seen it with my sister. I've seen it, just over and over and over again. You never listen to your parents until it's too late and you're older and you realize, oh, maybe they did know what they're talking about. Daisy right now is basically an angry teenager state emotionally. And whatever happens in the future, I'm seeing that kind of dynamic play out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I think that the whole Daisy Inhuman conflict is going to get a lot more prominent the next season. That's my opinion on where it's going. What do you think about that, Haley?
Maybe it depends on what they decide to do with Civil War, because they might resolve a lot of this with Civil War, and then that gives them the opportunity going forward to delve into kind of the mythology of Inhumans and go back to the royal family, which is what I'm looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What other highlights did you two have on your list there?
Shotgun X.
Yes, as soon as he picked up that cleaver, I was like, oh, it's happening.
Yes. I love how on Twitter at that moment, like everybody in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. hashtag just exploded. It was amazing. Just everybody.
Yeah, that I had wished that I had watched that live. I don't usually get to watch them live because I have a 3-year-old who sometimes might be traumatized by some of the things on there.
You have a 3-year-old who is a 3-year-old.
Exactly. And might reenact some of the things.
Who doesn't need to see Mac take a guy down with the meat cleaver?
Exactly. So when I saw that, I actually got on Twitter and I started to scan for things that had been out a couple hours before, and it was amazing.
Yes.
Quite amazing.
It was fabulous. Everyone was just so happy. And see, the thing is, like, seriously, ever since, like, what is it? Like every week it gets brought up. If not if not by one of us, then in the chat. And it happened. And it finally happened. It's Chekhov's axe shotgun.
Exactly. Haley, what did you have?
One other thing. Coulson said that Blake was a good man. Wasn't he kind of an asshole last time we met him?
He was.
That's
he was
what
a total
thought.
dick.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. I couldn't remember the specifics, but I thought that was correct.
I mean, maybe what by he meant was a good man. They meant like 20 years ago when they first joined S.H.I.E.L.D. But no, he was definitely a dick.
This was my memory of him because I remembered him being on the show, and then I remembered being like, you know what? His character on the show reminds me a lot of his character back when he was, what was it, Lieutenant Burke or something on Voyager. Like, I remember thinking that they both were dicks. And, to me, he was very, very not dick-like.
Cajun Sean in the chat wants to know if the Inhuman movie is still on Marvel's movie schedule. And I believe it still is. Yeah,
I believe it has not been removed yet.
Yeah, but it now.
I believe it got pushed back past after. Didn't it get pushed past after Avengers 4?
Right now, it's listed as July 12th, 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the other day because I was like, okay, I know there's not just one movie coming out this year. And yeah, Doctor Strange in November.
Well, before we do wrap up our talk on this here, I just wanted to point out one other thing, too, that is becoming a regular theme in television shows, not just comic shows. It also happened on The Walking Dead. Apparently, weapons are bringing families together. Have we noticed this?
Well, I mean, they're fun.
Yeah, I don't know. That made me smile a little bit because Mac and his brother were so locking heads or whatever you call it, and there you go. They have to use some axe guns, and what happens? Family love. It's reunited, right?
Yeah.
And it feels so good.
Yeah, and what's it? I really love, that part. It's when the Watchdogs bust in and Mac's little mini Mac, like Sky calls him at the end, is like freaking out, and then all of a sudden he sees, our Mac, Big Mac, take charge, and he's seeing the side of his brother he never has before. He gives him, it's like, have you ever used one of these? An assault rifle.
And I have to give this show credit because he doesn't actually hit his target properly.
Yeah.
For once, somebody with no experience does not hit their target as it should be. So kudos to you on that.
In all fairness,
who is hitting the target though is Simmons.
The first time I used an assault rifle, I did hit the target not very well.
And a bunch
Also,
of other
I hurt
stuff
my
that
shoulder.
wasn't the target.
Huh?
Did you hit a bunch of other stuff that wasn't the target as well?
Oh, I hit like the back wall, but it's okay if you hit that at a gun range.
Well, you ladies have anything else to add in here?
I don't think so. We didn't talk at all about the nitramine, but I don't particularly care about it, so that's fine.
Yeah, it was brought up on Twitter. It's a tie back to season 1 of Agent Carter. It's possibly one of the first direct kind of plot callbacks between the two shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to
is that what blew up the S.H.I.E.L.D. director, or not S.H.I.E.L.D., but SSR? No.
Yeah.
Oh
well, it's the stuff that like imploded the dairy farm place.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was, to me, it felt a little forced, and I maybe it's going somewhere else, but I don't know. I actually honestly forgot about it.
Also, something that bugged me, just, again, science does not work this way, when spraying the liquid nitrogen on like the weird glowy bit.
It would burn the shit out of his skin.
It would, he would be so burned, and it would not, I mean, you don't just mist it like that. That's not how you work liquid nitrogen. I mean, can't you just get like, the Dr. Scholl's freeze like apply it, like, pressing it. You don't want to just spray
freeze off warts or something.
Yeah, just PSA, do not spray liquid nitrogen at people. Okay, you don't do that. You're going to cause serious injury.
Well, two things on that. Number one, would be an amazing scene seeing them go to the pharmacy to pick up some Dr. Scholl's. That would be awesome.
All the Dr. Scholl's warts away. Stuff.
Second thing, we don't know. Maybe it was Fitz's time on the planet. His body chemistry is different now. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'll agree with you on that.
That is just, he should, like, by all rights, like, from his cheek to his shoulder.
He should look like Zuko.
Yeah, he should. Honor.
Yeah. All right. Haley, why don't you close us up with some quotes that you've got?
Okay, I've only got like 2, and one of them's not funny.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so since I'm practically the only one here who can't kill with her bare hands.
Oh.
And Ruben, I'm a mechanic. I hate this stuff.
Yeah. I wrote down a couple as well.
Well, yeah.
The first one that I had written down was "Thank you, Nerd Herd." I'm gonna go call Coulson. I like that one. I also liked "Have you been working out? Because it weighs like 100,000 tons. It's a building." Which was responded to, "So no then?" And then my favorite of the night was, so you just being a jackass for no reason?" That was fun. There was a few good quotes in there, but yeah, there's been better quotes throughout the duration of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, it wasn't the most quotable episode, but it was a pretty good episode.
It was.
Again, I'm just happy to have episodes that are like bring Mac into it. I like Mac. We need more Mac, especially now that Bobby and Hunter are, off.
Oh,
Oh, I just punched myself in the arm.
you make me all sad now again, reminding me of that. Oh. Well, next time I'll say we for the podcast, but we will be covering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 15 of season 3, titled Space Time.
Oh, and we'll be back on our Jessica Jones rewatch.
Yes, we
watching
will be.
episode 7, aka Top Shelf Perverts.
That's right. Well, before we do head in to the news items this week, just want to remind you that we are part of, there I go with the we again. We are part of the GonnaGeek network, which has a variety of amazing geeky podcasts, including one where you can get your SP fix titled Better Podcasting. It's all about podcasting. If you've ever wanted to podcast before, you can hop over to GonnaGeekNetwork.com and check out episode 21 of Better Podcasting, titled Podcast Budgets Sustain, where the crew over there are going to talk about possible costs you might incur sustaining your podcast. Check out that and all the other amazing geeky podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. Perhaps a light news week this week, but we did have a couple of points here still to discuss. Haley, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
So, Marvel's Most Wanted has done some more casting. Oh, hey, it's Lauren's favorite.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm really, really happy about this. Okay, so you know how every time we bring up Doctor Strange, I'm like, you know who'd be a good Doctor Strange? Oded Fair. So guess who's joining Marvel's Most Wanted?
Who?
Would it maybe be Oded Fair?
Oded Fair. Also, we're getting Fernanda Andrade from The Devil Inside. Oded Fair his role is described only as a well-known character from the Marvel comics who will prove a force to be reckoned with. So presumably he's a bad guy. And Fernanda Andrade is playing Cristina Santos, the tough as nails niece of Dominic Fortune, who again is going to be played by I blanked out. Delroy Lindo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what well-known character he will be playing.
I know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Like, I'm looking forward to knowing who he's cast as, and I'm looking forward to having him on my TV like for several weeks. Because yes.
Okay, so I think what we should do here, because I know you're so excited about this casting, I think you should take this moment here to do a pitch tease and just allude to who the character might be, even though you don't know. You should hype it up. I think you can do that on the spot, right, Lauren?
Okay, so who I think he should play if he's not Doctor Strange, I think he should be the Captain. And y'all have no clue who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Y'all need to read Warren Ellis's Next Wave. The Captain is a character who, his actual Captain nickname got him punched by Captain America. So now he just goes by the Captain. His uniform is basically just a t-shirt and, jeans. And he can, he has like the super strength, the invulnerability, and he's just basically a jerk. He's a huge jerk. That's his thing. And I want him to just be like walking around and punching people. And yeah, just like Red Thick in the chat said, bring in like aspects from the Next Wave team and just have them be complete and utter jerks, kind of antagonizing, Bobby and Hunter, who are trying to do things seriously. And just have it be like this kind of spy off with kind of a Deadpool feel to it, but then at the same time, kind of like an Ocean's 11 feel to it.
That'd be fun.
Right?
I could get on board with that. I like that. Again, another reason why Marvel should hire you. We should start a tally. Drop. That's what we should do. Well, that's interesting. All right, who had the Hawkeye fan film news here?
That was me. I watched this earlier. There's a fan film. It's on IO9, and we're linking to it in the show notes. And it's a fan film, and a pretty well done one, based on the Matt Fraction, David Aja run on Hawkeye, the Hawkeye comics. And it's got the look, it's got the tone, it's a lot of fun. It's got the dog, it's got Lucky the pizza dog. And it's about 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes long. And it's completely worth watching if you're a fan of that series.
That's awesome. That's great. How long's it been out? When did it get released?
I don't know. The story just showed up on IO9 today.
I like fan films. They're always fun. They're good. I'll have to check this out. I'm going to bookmark that now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, so this next story I also found. I go to this website. Oh, no, they didn't. They're kind of a gossip site, and it's my guilty pleasure. And I saw one. Okay, so Elephant in the Room, Batman versus Superman came out this past week, and the critic reaction was less than stellar. So,
and let's just preface this, by the way, none of us three have watched the film yet.
None of us have seen it. So, I mean, what I just know what I've heard. And one of the things that I have heard is that there's a conspiracy theory that started up that Marvel was paying people to trash the movie. So one of the Oh No They Didn't posters decided to investigate this shocking rumor. The poster is the Sugar Man. And uncovered several disturbing facts about the studio's financial affairs that makes me very doubtful of the fact that they would actually pay somebody to trash a movie, and also is possibly the reason they have not hired Haley or me yet. They don't like to pay for bathrooms. Marvel headquarters have only one bathroom per gender for their several hundred employees. Marvel doesn't like to pay for directors. We've mentioned this before. The Russo brothers have said they've earned more money directing the TV show Community than directing Winter Soldier. And of course, we mentioned that Joss Whedon earned more from Dr. Horrible than from directing the Avengers. This one was one of my favorites. Marvel doesn't like to pay for catering. Marvel CEO at the premiere of Iron Man, Ike Perlmutter, ordered that only potato chips be served to save money. And at one Avengers promotional event, famished journalists rated the nearby screening of the 5-year engagement, which was better stocked. There's some other stuff, but it's all kind of hilarious.
Yeah. I want to know who started this rumor, because it is out there.
Well, people love conspiracy theories, like the recent Bernie Sanders thing, the bird that landed on Bernie Sanders' podium. There's a conspiracy theory about that. People are like, it's a trained bird. Like,
yeah, I would believe that. I would believe that more than I would believe this Marvel paying thing.
Yeah, Marvel are kind of cheap bastards. I'm sorry.
They haven't hired you yet. There's
exactly,
flow,
jerks. Right? And I work for beer. Cheap. So.
Yeah.
I think though, what's interesting about this is that the only thing that I can see why this maybe got some level of movement was the fact that right when it came out, the Rotten Tomato meter versus the critic meter were very opposite. They were very, very opposite. So it was very odd, the difference that we were seeing. And my understanding is it's leveled out now quite a bit compared after more people have seen it and more people have not liked it. But it's a good conspiracy, and I'll endorse it. Why not? You know, I don't believe it, but I like conspiracies. You're right.
Yeah, conspiracy theories are fun.
And another conspiracy that has come up as of recent is that Tom Hiddleston is claiming that Thor 3 will indeed be the last Hiddleston appearance. He's quoted as saying, Thor 3 will be cool because I've not done it in 4 years. I love working with Chris. This will be my last time out of the gate. And the conspiracy theory is that looking for the bigger paycheck, because everybody likes Hiddleston, and Loki is an amazing character in the whole universe. So I don't foresee it personally being his last. I would be very surprised, but it'll make me have a little sad tear if that is the case.
Yeah, for those who weren't in the chat, I just held up my Sir Thomas Sharp from Crimson Peak Pop Funko because I don't have a Loki Pop Funko.
You know, they've killed Loki at the end of every Thor movie, and it hasn't stuck yet. So
Pretty much.
I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point.
Yeah, and considering he basically does seem to be like some combination of Loki and a real life Disney prince, I kind of wouldn't doubt if, this is not true.
Yeah, I think it would be nice. Like, honestly, it would be okay for me to see him shelved for even a while longer than we've had him shelved, because he was used back to back a couple of times, and he is a very good character, and I don't want to see it overplayed, but I don't want to see him gone forever.
No, just, bring him back when we've all missed him a very long time. There is a Loki. Yeah, we can have Cage and Sean brought up gender change like in the comics. Michelle Ely brought up kill Loki and bring him back in his horse form. There's another Loki. We can have kid Loki. We can have woman Loki. We can have horse Loki. We can have there's a wealth of Loki. There's a cat Loki in the comics. And Thor is like, change back. And he's like, no, this is canon. This is absolutely 100% canon. Oh, and there was One Direction Loki.
Yeah, but see,
there's a plethora of Lokis to choose from.
But by the way, in the chat, we have a question here. If you weren't watching the visual version of the show, I held up my little Loki action figure, and I am being asked what action figures I have behind me, displayed behind me. I have Captain America, Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, and there is another, I don't know, Iron something or another. I'm not going to lie. They're totally my son's toys. I stole them just to put on display tonight. So that's what I did. But you ladies have any other news points here?
No.
I don't believe so.
It's a pretty light week.
It is. All right, well, let's go ahead and move into our modified feedback. Should we do that?
Let's do it.
Thing.
All right. Well, it was a light week on feedback this week, wasn't it, Haley?
Yeah, I'm sure Lauren got hit up on the Twitters while she was live tweeting, though.
Yeah, we did. Thank you for everybody who, watches along, tweets during, after, whatever. Andy, because of the time difference, always tweets a bit after. But we really, really like having y'all's opinions. One that made me laugh really hard was Consultant Black Adam at Starsaber said the Max is here, which I really like. Instead of the shotgun axe. I mean, Max it just rolls off the tongue easier. Yeah, we got a lot of really good comments and videos, links. Adonna Girl Christy linked to an IO9 thing that shows it's a fan done supercut that shows the road to Civil War is paved with Tony Stark's good intentions, and it's really well done. And we really love getting feedback like that. I mean, it not only is it really fun to group watch stuff, but when it's nice knowing that y'all think about us during the week and send us stuff. It's thank you.
We like stuff.
We like stuff
and things.
We like things and stuff.
Yeah.
Now here's a question for you, Laura. And let's say hypothetically somebody was like, I just can't type the words right, and I would rather just have a conversation with you face to face. Is there a chance that they could do that?
There is a chance that they could do that. If you are a Texas person, and if you are planning to come to Aggie Con this weekend, April 1st through 3rd in College Station, Texas, I will actually be on 3 panels this weekend. Yeah, I know. Let me pull up the panel schedule.
3. That's crazy.
3 panels.
That's exciting.
Okay, so I am going to be all on Saturday. I am going to be on the top 10 video games through the ages panel Saturday from 1 to 2. Feminism and Sci-Fi Saturday 3 to 4. And Heroes of the Past Today Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I'm going to be on all of those with some really great people, including a very longtime friend of mine on the Heroes of the Past Today panel. And yeah, Aggie Con is a really good baby's first convention. It was the first one I ever went to. I used to work at it. I used to work on it. And I'm really happy to actually be doing a panel this year, doing 3 panels this year. So
that's exciting.
Show up. I may or may not be dressed as Helena from Orphan Black while I'm doing the panels. I will be dressed as Helena at some point this weekend. I'm just trying to decide if it would bring more or less credibility to be dressed as the killer clone during the panel.
I'm going to go with more.
Okay, it's decided. I will be the one in the big poofy blonde wig.
You just have to do Helena's voice the whole time.
Sestra.
Sestra, brother.
Well, that's great. And if you are listening to this after we record this, then it's too late. I know that this was released after Aggie Con, but this is why you always want to make sure you do check out GonnaGeek.com, because there are a lot of different podcasts with a lot of different people hitting up a lot of different places. And you can definitely find out the schedule in advance so that you can stalk us. Well, before we do wrap up, we had a question in the chat, and it was one about the episode. Michelle Ely had asked, with all of the Inhuman stuff on the show, will there be enough for a movie? And I think that that's a very interesting question. And since I have this opportunity to hijack your podcast, I want to officially put it out there that I think that the listeners should chime in on what they think about that, because I think it's a question that deserves a lot of thought, because that has crossed my mind as well. They've been doing a really good job with Inhumans on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, send us what you think about that, via Facebook, or which actually, as soon as we're done with this, I'll go put it up on the Facebook account. And, Twitter, email, phone, just whatever way you want to get to us with your opinion on that. Personally, I think that they still have plenty to do, especially if they do about the royal family that we're all mostly familiar with through the comics, like Black Bolt, Medusa, Lockjaw. Yeah, I think there's plenty to do kind of off planet, because
Prince Harry.
It's important to remember that the Inhumans that are on Earth are the remnants of an experiment.
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of potential, but I also, honestly, this year they did a lot of Inhuman stuff that I actually didn't think that they would be going down. I thought that was going to wrap up pretty nicely last year, but they continued that and they did a good job with it. So I'm on the fence. And if you do want to call in a voicemail, we'll play it on the show. It's 844-THE-BUS-1. That's 844-843-2871. Well, ladies, I hope that I have not derailed your podcast too much. I appreciate the invite on here. It was a lot of fun and a good episode. It was one that made me think about a lot of different things and honestly the future of this show and what direction it's going to go. So it was an honor to be on here. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, thank you for showing up. It was a lot of fun. And again, thank you to everybody in the chat and everybody on Twitter. It's just always nice hanging out with y'all.
Thank you to everybody that's here live now heckling us. And if you would like to heckle us as well, you should tune in every Wednesday night at 9 Eastern, where we do the show live. And Starpie will be back next week, so you could heckle him and tell him how wrong he is about everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the best time to heckle me behind my back.
Yes, it's true.
All right. Well, that is going to walk us out here. So, for episode 114, of the Marvel, I'm trying to think the best way to word that, the Marvel Mass Universe podcast called Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm Stephen Jondrew.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to GonnaGeek.com and you will find all of our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Legends, Stream, or GonnaGeek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation. No infringement is intended.
Alrighty, that takes us to the post show. Before we do go into that, I just want to remind you that the GonnaGeek Network has a lot of great live content, and the next podcast that will be on that great Geeks.live page will be the Starling Tribune. It is every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So same time as this, just on Thursday. So check out Geeks.live if you want to look at all of the great things in the Arrow television show happenings. So we're going to unlock the 4th seat here, so anybody who wants can jump on in and ask some questions if they want, or say their opinion of what you thought of today's episode, or just any Marvel chatter. Just click on that call in and we'll add you in here. Now's where we awkwardly wait.
Bueller.
Well, while we are waiting, I will thank everybody who did pop by today. I know there was a lot of really great people on here who came by. We had Michelle Ely. We had... I'm trying to pull up the whole list here. I know I saw Matt Hatter.
Crimson Podcast was here.
That's right, Crimson Podcast was here. For some reason, I can't click on the circles. Usually you're able to click on the circles. They're not working for me. Not working for me.
You broke it.
Popping up and closing. I did. Canada broke it. That's true, Matt Hatter. Canada breaks
Blame
everything.
Canada. Yeah, you just hover over the circles. Don't click on them.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Nope, still not working for me.
Oh, nope, you broke it.
Yeah, I did. Anybody want to pop in here? 4th seat. It's unlocked.
Well,
here we go.
Is somebody coming in?
We do.
I see nothing.
All right. It says call answering. We're waiting for Michelle.
She got to click the things to allow her microphone to be used. Give her a second.
That's right. That's right. I forgot that Blab changed that.
You have to do it every single time. You can't remember the permissions.
I don't think it's working, Michelle. I'm going to disconnect you, Michelle. I'm trying to reconnect. Sometimes that fixes it. I don't know if she heard that, so... Still saying connecting. Well, we'll give that a minute there.
I'll take this opportunity to heckle Will, since he's not here to defend himself. I mean, he's here in the chat. But a couple of weeks ago, we were recording Crimson Comet, And Lobster and I were like, we hear this clicking sound, and it's coming from you. And he's like, I don't hear anything. It must just be like in the signal somewhere. And I was like, well, stop and listen to your recording for a second to see if it's on your recording. And if it's not, we'll just keep going. It'll be fine. And he's like, no, there's nothing there. And then we get the episode back from him that he's edited, and we're like, dude, that clicking is there all the way through. And he's like, what are you guys talking about? I hear nothing. And we're like, oh, it's because you're old and your hearing's going out. Ha 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 ha. So to our loyal listeners, sorry about that clicking. It's all Will's fault.
Well, Michelle, I don't think it's going to work there. I'm not sure what's going on.
I don't know.
Anybody else want to? Will, why don't you hop in?
Come on, Will, hop in and defend yourself.
It's been a while since I've talked to you, anyways. So.
Wow. It's been a week since I talked to him.
Good question. Michelle's asking if we think we will see Mac's brother again. So
I kind of hope so.
I hope so. Do we know, is he like have much acting history to him? Because if so, then I think that's setting it up.
I remember the first time I ever saw him was on Seventh Heaven, and he was the oldest son of the black preacher's family who had like the exact same number of kids as the main family.
Sadly, I know that theme song, and I never watched the show.
I never saw it.
I used to watch it all the time.
My wife watched it a lot. Yeah.
The connection is terrible, so Will not be joining us.
Ooh. Let's see.
All right. Well, I guess that looks like that's going to end it for the broadcast tonight. I'm going to go ahead and shut off the recording of the Blab, and when we do that, oh wait.
Do we have someone?
Wait,
Nick.
Here we go.
Thing.
Nick is connecting. Maybe Blab's broken.
Ah.
Yeah, there. It happened. Yay!
Hey.
Yo. Hey, jerk.
Hey.
You're friends with Lauren? That shows poor
Yeah,
judgment.
it really does.
Yeah. He, for any of those of y'all who listen to the Strange and Unusual group of podcasts that are now on the GonnaGeek Network, Nick is the voice of Uncle Lawrence and Assorted Monsters.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yep.
That's kind of my shtick.
Yep.
No, I always hesitate since I'm very behind on S.H.I.E.L.D. But, I'm pretty up to date with other Marvel stuff. But my question is, do you think with the Inhumans movie they're going to take the opportunity to get Miss Marvel in there or any of the others considering?
Well, Miss Marvel was pulled temporarily, wasn't it? Temporarily.
No.
Wasn't it?
Captain Marvel, no, it just got rearranged.
Yeah, and it's going to be coming out, I think, before the Inhumans movie, so there is a possibility to see her there.
Well, not
March of the previous year, maybe?
I mean the current Miss Marvel, not Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay.
My apologies.
Kamala, not Captain. Okay.
Yeah.
I would love it if we get to see Kamala Khan on the show. I'd really love it.
Yeah, it would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, and then especially because I feel like they'd have to wait a while because in the comics, she's really heavily inspired by Carol Danvers, who's not here yet. So they might have to make her more inspired by some other Marvel hero or by some other Inhumans or something, and have somebody else for her to fangirl over.
Well, the Captain Marvel movie comes out before that, so maybe.
Yeah, but if
they would just have to introduce her after,
on the show, next season or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Mad Hatter in the chat says, I think it may make a better mini series of some sort, maybe on Netflix, similar to Daredevil scenario. Now,
if they wanted to do a teen series, that'd be the best. If they ever did something like Kamala or Young Avengers or Runaways,
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
I wish that they would do that and put them on Netflix or something.
I think that we're about to see Netflix continue to explode with these type of series? Because I'm going to guess that the cost is a lot less for Netflix.
I bet it is. Okay, so in my dream, they do a Runaway series on Netflix, they do a Young Avengers series on Netflix, and they do Ms. Marvel series on Netflix. And then, much like they're doing the Defenders, they put it all together and do like Avengers Academy.
That'd be cool. I just want a Next Wave series, honestly.
That would be amazing. Unfortunately, I think that it probably requires too many in-jokes, so they'd have to completely change it up to work with the MCU.
Yeah. Yeah,
I really want Elsa Bloodstone.
I just want Machine Man.
I want to see her shooting koalas. Evil drop bear koalas. Seriously, I'll read Next Wave. Just read it. It has Monica Rambeau. It has Machine Man. It has just this absolutely bonkers antagonist. It has Devil Dinosaur. It's amazing.
With a snifter of brandy, I believe.
Yes, he does have a snifter of brandy and a smoking jacket.
God, I need to read that again.
I know. I reread it recently, and then I put it out on my husband's desk for him to read, but I don't know if he did or not.
Wouldn't that break Scott?
No, he'd love it. I just don't know if he read it. Also, I need to reread the comics for Bucky comes back. I was reading comics the other night because I couldn't sleep, and I reread Death of Captain America, the first trade of the new Thor, Chick Thor.
Oh yeah,
how is that?
I really like it. I really love the difference between her inner monologue, which is just like me talking, and then what she's actually saying, which is, the old-timey formal speech.
That's
and
cool.
I really wish that there's this one edit that I've seen where she taps, dude Thor on the chest and is telling him to calm down, but the edit is "calm thy tits." I really wish that had actually been what she said.
That's cool.
I think there was a Loki comment that says it's about ethics and hammer wielding or something.
It's about ethics and hammer wielding. No, that is one. It's from one of the Loki Agents of Asgard ones where the All-Mother sends him to find out who Chick Thor is.
Yeah.
I love Agents of Asgard. Yeah, again, it's another one of those things where a bunch of Marvel's titles are like, yay, fun and whimsy. And then DC is like, doom. Ironic.
But Marvel
actually has doom.
Remind me to tell you about Batman, Superman, Lauren.
Okay, I heard a little bit about it. And considering that Sunday night I was watching Man of Steel and I was like, wow, this is a lot of Christ imagery. And then I heard about what they did with Superman in Batman versus Superman. I'm like,
I have managed to keep all of the spoilers out of my mind.
I'm not spoiling you. I'm just saying, apparently the Christ imagery, like Zack Snyder is thoroughly fixated on that.
All I'll say is the movie would have worked better as like a Moby Dick sort of movie with Batman and sort of Ahab and Superman as a white whale. But that's not what they did, and it was terrible. Ben Affleck was great. Superman was nothing.
I've heard that. Now let me ask you this, because you've seen it. We have not. I have, even in everybody who's calling the movie unwatchable, I don't see anybody saying anything bad about Batfleck. Do you think that this might turn the rumored Bat solo film into happening a lot sooner? Like, do you think that's going to make it happen sooner?
I actually read a rumor today that he penned a script for it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like, so, I know he was rewriting in between scenes.
Yeah. And, like, he brings something that Batman really hasn't had in the movies yet. Most Batman don't have that cold ferocity that you see in the comics. Affleck brings that really well.
Oh,
considering that he's, like, a huge Batman fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why he did Daredevil, because he thought that's the closest he'd ever get to Batman.
Yeah.
So I I should point out that Nick is the only one here, I think, unless you've seen it, Stephen, who's seen the most recent Fantastic Four.
I have not. No, I've stuck away from that.
Yeah, I've seen it. It was a mistake.
I heard that it's an amazing piece of cinema. That's what I heard.
I put it on the schedule. I saw the reviews for it, and I took it off the schedule.
She took it off the schedule immediately. What did we watch instead?
Astonishing X-Men.
That was it.
Probably a good choice.
It was a much better choice.
Me and my girlfriend were going to the Dragon Ball Z movie. It was sold out, and that was the only thing we could see. Otherwise, waste an hour to drive to Alamo Drafthouse. So we sat through it, and I kind of want my money back. Because, it had a great sort of setup, but then it just sort of dropped the ball. Like the whole dimensions thing's kind of, I felt would work better in today's climate where space is kind of taking a back seat. Sort of, but other than that, it just was terrible.
I so wanted that to not live up to the negative publicity that it had. I wanted that to succeed.
Well, Michael B. Jordan was pretty good in it, actually. It just, they gave him nothing to work with.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame. I will watch it at some point. Is it on Netflix yet? Is it on Netflix?
No, I don't think so. Is it even out on DVD yet?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
that's how much of an impact it had, is that you totally missed it.
Yeah, I completely missed that.
So we don't have red boxes up in Canada anymore. They pulled out about a year ago, and I from what I heard, I definitely wouldn't have even spent the red box type money on it.
Yeah, it goes from a super science movie to sort of a Fantastic Four movie, like in the last 30 minutes. Like they're not even a team until the last 30 minutes, maybe.
I'll watch it drunk, and if I don't have to pay for it, or if I only have to chip in to rent it. Very drunk.
It seems like the kind of movie that's I want to watch it at home where I can stop and go to the bathroom and get pizza and mess around on Facebook
and have a few beers.
Yeah.
It might be one of those movies that make you sober. I've run into those.
That's funny.
Yeah, just start pouring myself the vodka and don't stop until it's a good movie.
You'll be dead. Seriously, it's bad.
That's good. That's funny. I gotta have to check it out. Well, Nick, you got anything else here?
Nah. Just thought I'd hop in.
We appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah. And now I'll be checking Netflix weekly to see if it's hit the list yet.
Good luck.
Thanks for coming on.
Later, Nick.
Yeah, no problem. Later.
Bye. So in the chat, Will is saying, I was very surprised how well Batfleck did, but I feel his Batman is better older.
So it's a good thing he didn't make it back when he got Daredevil instead.
Right.
Yeah. I heard was one of the good things about the character is that he played Batman older, more world weary,
nice.
More like the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns Batman.
I've also heard Gal Gadot is awesome as Wonder Woman.
I've heard she's good, but that she wasn't really given all that much to do either.
Yeah.
I think that it's good from what I've heard with it seeming to be a more wiser Batman. I think that's a good thing because of the fact that we just got youth Batman. We just got new Batman, right? Mm-hmm. In the Bale series. So I think
we have nice. Little baby Batman in Gotham.
Exactly. Which, by the way, I have to say, Gotham has totally flipped on where I was at the beginning. I did not like the show. I let it stack up for 6 episodes or whatever the first season. And each week, it's one that I watch every Monday now. It made it to my Monday rotation. It found a little bit or it took a little bit to find its groove, but it's been really good so far.
I'll probably
This
catch up
season.
at some point. I don't think I've
I like
watched
it.
since the end of season 1.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of
Yeah.
season 2 yet.
Chris is in the chat heckling us for talking about DC stuff. Fine.
Hey,
Fine.
we're done actually recording. Now we can talk about whatever we want.
It's our podcast. We'll talk about whatever we want.
Exactly.
Blackjack
And Chris,
and
why don't you hop in here? Come on, before we do wrap up here. Hop on. And we already plugged Starling Tribune there, Chris. Chris is plugging away the Starling Tribune, available on the GonnaGeek Network at
No, if you're
GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
looking for a Marvel or a DC TV show podcast to listen to, you should probably check out Crimson Comet.
That's a pretty good show. The Crimson Comet, they're a sweet, educated bunch.
Way more fun than Starling Tribune. That's right, I said it.
My cat's been back there.
The thing about
licking
Like a
his
Girl is
phone.
there's not a whole lot of episodes to listen to right now. I just need some editing time, and then there will be another awesome podcast you can listen to called Like a Girl about
You
Supergirl.
can make a good summer hiatus.
Yeah, as you're doing your
fall.
rewatch.
Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, Supergirl, another one, which I was pretty mad on at the start, and now find myself trying to watch it every Monday. So it really did a good job there. You know, I find a lot of these comic series have taken a bit to get their groove. Even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was
Agents
pretty
of
rocky.
S.H.I.E.L.D. definitely. I was thinking back on it yesterday after the episode. Again, think because of the whole Sky and her character growth thing. Every now and then I'll think back to like the first, 2 or 3 episodes and how really cartoony they felt. And I'll think back to those first ads that they would show, in movie theaters and stuff here. And just, again, how bright and cartoony they felt. And then compare it to where the show's at now, where it's not like it's grim or anything, but it's a lot more serious. The characters have grown up a lot. I was watching Iron Man 2 before we started recording. It was on FX, and Coulson's on there, and he's pre-dead Coulson. My husband's like, man, I miss movie Coulson and how he used to be. And all of these characters have grown, and you have that with this, you have that with all these other shows, and it's just, again, it's a fantastic time for comic stuff on TV because they're actually giving it time to grow and develop, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it is something that we've really seen time and time again with comic shows. The only exception, and, I still like to watch it, but honestly, Arrow has been the complete opposite. It was a little rocky at the first, then it really got its groove. Season 2 rocked, and now it's kind of tail spinning in an odd direction. However, all the other shows, they started off really, really rocky, but then they just continue to build and give the character development time. So, it looks like we got Chris Farrell popping in here to defend Arrow, right?
Ironically, I'm not here to defend Arrow because I do think it has problems this season. And SP sent us that open letter that he found, and I'd reposted it myself. A lot of what they say in there, I agree with that letter, rather. I feel like they've lost their way, and it's not nearly as strong a show as it was back in season 2.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I feel I hate saying this because DC to me for a long time has been the king of TV. I've disagreed with SP on that, the king of comic book TV. When you start to factor in Netflix and things like that,
Marvel's taken over.
You definitely giving them a run for their money, and I think that DC might need to take a little bit of the Marvel page in a little bit.
The problem is they don't want to connect their movie universe with their TV universe. And that's
true.
where Marvel has their biggest strength, is the fact that if I watch this little piece on Netflix, it's going to come into play somewhere else. Whereas DC has said, we know you love Grant Gustin as the Flash. Well, F you. You're not getting him on the big screen because we have our own plans.
Multiverse.
Well, the multiverse is established because of Flash.
Yeah, this is true.
It is.
And
I think that Marvel, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a great example of integrating your TV shows in with your movie while still letting them stand on their own 2 feet. I think that they've done a great job with that. The storylines, half of them will never ever have any influence, or more than half ever have any influence on any of the event in the DC universe, but there's enough elements that, you're constantly reminded about that too. So you do a really good job with that. Sorry, I talked over you, Laura. My apologies.
No, I was going to say, for anyone who's like worried about the direction that like the DC movies have taken, just have like a Crisis on Infinite Earths.
That's what Michelle just said in the chat room. It's like you guys are reading each other's minds.
Exactly.
Well, if you have a crisis over what's been going on in the DC movie universe, I've been told go watch the Flash and Supergirl crossover and you'll feel better about life. I haven't yet seen
Oh,
it.
it's so fun.
It is fun. The Flash episode this week, I think you missed that part, Chris. We were talking about that. It has nothing to do with Supergirl at all. And I think the events happen just at the after point here. Maybe next week we'll get something.
Right. So I watched Flash tonight. I was really hoping when he comes back to the future, for lack of a better term, that something happened there that tossed him into Earth Supergirl.
I like how he's just willy-nilly changing things in time, and there's not really any consequences for it down the road.
And nobody has ever done it right in the Flash. Nobody has time traveled to fix something and ever done it right. There's always terrible consequences. The closest you get is Eobard Thawne, and he gets stuck for 20 years.
I like the way they handled the whole making sure the events of season 1 can continue to happen. While still allowing them to have having fun and Barry to have a frank conversation about what's going on. And by the way, I should probably shut down the Blab recording because this is now DC. Whatever. I'll leave it going.
It's bonus content.
Will says I can't say anything else because I should be saving this gold for our own podcast.
That's true. That's true. Which you can find the Crimson Comet on the GonnaGeek Network, available on GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
That's why I came in with that mic flag on. I could have come on with a Starling Tribune just to be contrary.
Yeah, it's good, and except Arrow. Come on.
I know, and I think and Neil and I are going to be doing Starling Tribune tomorrow night. That's not a shameless plug, but I think we're actually going to touch on some of the stuff that was brought up in that open letter because I think they are valid criticisms of the show, and I think it can get back to greatness again. They just need to get away from, we got to do more shipping crap. And you don't have to ship all the time in these shows. I know it's on the CW, but you don't have to ship all the time.
Which, by the way, I will spoil this for you. There is an amazing CW dig in Supergirl this week.
Is there? Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, I forgot that until like just this moment that the Rebels finale was tonight.
It's on right now, or
So
finished
you need to
already.
go.
Yeah, it finished already. So I'm gonna go
All right.
and I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna scream.
I'm anticipating doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, Lauren, for allowing me to come on here. It was awesome.
Thanks for showing up. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for driving the bus.
Night, y'all.
Night.
All right, bye. Well, there you go. We got another open seat if someone else wants to pop in here. Oh, we do. Here we go. I have a feeling Haley is about to to get a little bit of
No, what's going to be great is he said he's got a crappy connection, so he's going to start talking trash, and then it's going to cut out.
Even better.
Actually, he might not even be able to get in.
I might need to refresh. Sometime Blab's been really weird tonight because I've been watching a bunch of stuff across Blab, and people have been having issues getting in.
Hello.
Yeah,
here we
you're
go.
good. You're good.
There we go.
Well,
Hey.
Hey,
Well, I've got like two monitors going right now, so the camera's here, and I'm watching you guys over here.
There's a bit of a clicking sound, though.
There is
No,
not
I'm
a
just
clicking
kidding.
sound. There might be, though. I don't know. There might be a clicking sound. I actually went and had my hearing tested for it. And you know what? It's outside of my range. I can't hear it. So I am an old man.
But we forgive you because you have excellent taste in rum.
That's right.
All right. Well. Should we stop talking about it?
No, go ahead. I mean, we're gonna redo this again tomorrow night anyway. At least we'll try and slim it down because we have a lot to talk about tomorrow night.
You've been keeping up on Supergirl, though?
No, unfortunately, I haven't. But I did watch it this week, and it was hilarious. I had a lot of fun watching it. I did love the dig. With
everyone
WB.
has said I cannot wait to watch. That's probably tomorrow after I get home from work on my list of things to do.
And I was right in the middle of watching S.H.I.E.L.D. And at the same time, I was on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, they're on talk. Oh, well, pause that. Start sending the guest star." And lo and behold, there you are.
Here we are.
S.H.I.E.L.D. has just been solid though this year. It's got a lot of really, really good character development as a whole, and the way that they have managed to make Ward, or as I'll call him, not Ward, still extremely creepier than he's ever been. It's amazing.
So I would have thought halfway through. Does he show up tonight, or
no, he does not.
Okay.
He was not in this episode at all.
Okay.
Go back to season 1 Ward, and who would have thought that that's what he would have turned into in this current season? Now I'm way behind. I already know what happens because I'm spoiled, but I literally haven't seen anything since the mid-season finale. But I've been following along bits and pieces. But he's just creepier, and you go back and just that boring guy, and he's this now. It's fantastic.
He's much better as a bad guy than a good guy. As a good guy, we just wanted to slap him. But now as a bad guy, I'm like, no, this is a Ward I can get behind. Okay, yeah.
You should do that though in the off season. Is do a comparison. Take maybe take the episode where the episode where he kills what's her face of the HECU or whatever. What's her name? Coulson's girlfriend.
Oh,
Roslyn.
yeah.
Where he kills Roslyn.
Sorry, I had to go back to Battlestar for a sec.
And compare that to one of the early episodes where is he falling in love? I don't know. One of the fun, happy-go-lucky Ward. It would be a fun contrast.
Where he jumps out of the plane and saves Simmons or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Ward is still one of my favorite villains that we've seen in Marvel.
He's been one of the best developed villains in Marvel.
Because he had an arc.
That's true.
He's been on for long enough.
Your best villains outside of Loki have all been from TV/Netflix because they have time to develop them properly.
Has everybody caught up on Daredevil yet?
I haven't watched it yet because I suck.
Season 2 is so good.
It's on my list.
Especially the last 3 episodes. That's all I have to say. The last 3 are the best.
Believe it or not, I haven't watched a single episode yet. I've been trying to find, I need to find the time where I'm just like, okay, this is going to be the weekend or the week that I'm just going to stay up every night. It's off season when my kids aren't around and watch it.
You can sleep when you're dead.
I like that.
Sleep. What is sleep?
All right. So let me ask you this. Between all of the comic shows that are out there, including Netflix, which is your favorite?
Well, I mean, I have to say Crimson. Yeah, I have to say The Flash.
He's contractually obligated to say that.
Contractually obligated, of course. But I actually do love The Flash. I love, The Flash is my favorite show that's on TV right now. But besides that, I am going to say I just brain farted. Jessica Jones.
I was going to say the same thing. It's probably the same order, too. The Flash and then Jessica Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
And Michelle says Agent Carter.
Oh, yeah, I do love Agent Carter. It doesn't feel like a comic book show, though.
That's true.
We'll include it.
See, I'm going to go and say Legends of Tomorrow is my number 2 right now behind Flash. Just because
Legends of Tomorrow
it's such a not good show, but it's so ridiculous that I don't care.
It's exactly what I want it to be. It's a popcorn show. I kick my feet up, I eat some popcorn, and I get entertained for 42 minutes, and I go out and I'm like, awesome, let's do this again.
All right, so we had WonderCon here in LA this weekend, and we took the day to go down there. And on Saturday night, I ran into my old boss, and we're on the train coming back with his kid, and he's telling us how much he loves Arrow and how much he loves The Flash, and we're talking about the podcast and everything. And we start talking about Legends of Tomorrow, and I look over his shoulder, and there's this girl who's turned around. She's looking at us, giving us these really big smiles. She finally comes over. She's a visual effects artist on all 3 shows.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
She was so happy to be working on the shows and hearing us talking about how great it was. And she's like, tell me what you think about Legends of Tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'm going to be honest. It's not a good show, but it's a fun show.
Exactly.
It is. It is a lot of fun. And I was very skeptical when I saw the hodgepodge of characters they were throwing together. Like,
Will, did you pitch our ideas for season 2?
No, I had to get off at the next stop.
All right, so our idea is that every episode should just be them traveling to a different time.
Oh no, I did tell her that. Okay.
And then Heatwave, well, hard now, but Heatwave, Captain Cold, and White Canary go into a bar and start a fight. Just in different bars in different time periods.
Yeah, I did tell her that. I thought that was great. And then unbeknownst to us, and this is another thing, and I'm trying to loop these guys into GonnaGeek too. So we were out Sunday night. Our plan was go see Dr. Horrible, sing along, and then meet a friend for a quick drink afterwards and go home. And we're at the bar. We got to the bar at like 4:30. We didn't leave till almost midnight.
Nice.
Because all of a sudden, all these people came in with Flash t-shirts from South Africa and different parts of England who all have their own post-show show. And the cards went back, and GonnaGeek cards went around, and drinks, and it was mayhem. So
The best kind.
yes.
Yeah.
I never experienced something like that. That was a lot of fun.
I forgot. Sean's pointing out that Jonah Hex is coming to Legends of Tomorrow.
He is.
I saw that.
Shown in the sizzle reel from WonderCon.
That's the kind of fun, though. That's the kind of fun that is good to have.
I'm still holding to my conspiracy theory we get John Constantine in season 2.
It's going to come down to whether the actor's available or not.
Yeah, if Matt Ryan's available, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, it is a really fun show. And yeah, you're right. It's not that great. And honestly,
it doesn't pretend like it's great. That's the thing.
No.
They don't try and pretend like, oh, we're the greatest thing on TV. They're like, hey, we're a popcorn show. Come have fun with us. Enjoy the spectacle.
Yeah. And if they continue on with the Vandal Savage thing, that'll make me angry, but
that's a one season villain arc. I'm hoping that they
Exactly,
do something else for season 2.
he'll probably end up Barry will pop in, he'll change time, and Vandal Savage will be either BFF.
Well, they need to go and explain why Malcolm Merlin resurrected him. I'm waiting for that to happen.
That's probably the finale. They'll spend all of season 2 fighting those time dementors.
There you go.
Yes. Kronos, the best Star Trek villain. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, I went there. And Michelle says Wentworth Miller makes the show.
He does.
I like Wentworth Miller. The only thing that I've had remotely critiquing is what he's been given. Like I feel like he's one of the couple characters where I've sat there and I've been like, okay, I want more development from you. And it's sort of the scenarios he's put in. He's put in the same scenario over and over again, and the same type of character. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more of that in season 2.
The problem you're going to run into is it's an ensemble show, so they can't really focus on anyone for too long because you basically have 8 lead actors, 8 lead characters.
See, what they need to do is just focus on Sarah and Cold because those are the only 2 I care about.
Exactly. And come on, Wentworth steals every scene he
does.
Although
he's very good.
He's recently been in the news. He was in the news this morning because he was responding to a really mean meme.
I saw that.
That was trying to body shame him. So I'm watching the local CBS affiliate here, and they're talking about that, and they kept referring to him as the star of The Flash.
Did they really?
Yeah, they've been doing that in most of the AP articles referencing it too. Like Wentworth Miller, star of The Flash. Like, no, that's actually Grant Gustin.
They actually did use the words one time. They said, "Who plays The Flash?" I was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake.
For Christ's sake!"
I actually have no recollection at all because I probably can count on, I don't know, both hands and both feet how many episodes of Glee that I've seen. I have no recollection of him in Glee, but I know that he was in Glee.
Not in Glee.
Wait.
Wentworth Miller was never in Glee.
No, Grant Gustin.
Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist were both in Glee, which is what made the crossover even better. But how do you not know this as the founder? How do you not know this as the founder of the GonnaGeek podcast?
No, that's what I was saying. I did know that they were both on it, and when I was watching Supergirl this week, part of me was itching for them to sit there and break out in chorus.
Well, he had a pretty big part. He was a villain on Glee.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was one of the Warblers. He was the head of the Warblers who tried to break up. He tried to break up the 2 gay characters. Kurt and his boyfriend.
Oh yeah, I don't remember his boyfriend.
And then he tried to steal him to come. Kurt and Blake, or something like that.
Blaine. There we go.
I don't
So he
know.
can sing and dance really well.
Yep.
And then her character on the show was just wretched. It was terrible. She was so goody two shoes that
was the season I quit watching.
Yeah, she was terrible on it.
I did see her on there.
Yeah, but they were never in the same scene together. They were never.
No,
like,
because they were in
even
different
met.
seasons.
Yeah.
They should have gone to a karaoke bar, but they didn't.
I feel like on these shows, every bar they go to should be a karaoke bar.
I like that. Yeah.
We get Joe singing. We get Barry singing.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
How have they worked in a singing scene to Agent Carter, but not into either of the shows that star a Glee actor/actress? Like, come on. There is no opportunity.
Flash had a karaoke scene.
Yeah.
In season 1.
They did. I forgot about. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah.
Flash totally had a karaoke scene. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I stand corrected.
So they could do a musical episode. They just need to have a metahuman whose power is to like manipulate people, and for whatever reason, they choose to make people sing.
Well, that's a Buffy episode.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Exactly. Buffy already proved you can do an entire musical episode, and it can be pulled off. You're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to see them do that every week, but I'm dying to see them pull it off at least once.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know that on Arrow, John Barrowman can sing.
Exactly, so he can be in that episode.
Yeah.
Everybody should just all meet up on the season finales and go to a karaoke bar.
Yeah, you guys hear that? Those are my dogs.
They are unhappy.
They're barking at somebody. Shut up!
Should we go ahead and shut it down for the night?
I think we should. Because we haven't talked about Marvel in like half an hour.
I brought up Marvel Agent Carter, okay? I made sure to bring it into the last 2 minutes here. That was my mission. And I
you're lucky that I wasn't in on this whole Batman-Superman conversation, because I've just been railing at that. 2.5 hours of my life I want back. So,
Chris, have you seen it yet?
I know enough. I'll go see it on Friday because I have to, because we're going to talk about it on Starling, and I am displeased with the fact I have to go and see it. Let's just put it that way. I'm curious about it, but the more I hear about it, the less I want to go and see it, because I know it's going to disappoint me.
No, well, look at it this way. You're going in with really low expectations, so it may not be that bad.
Yeah, but I know Batman's going to kill people, and Batman doesn't kill. No, there's Superman, but he kills two evidence.
Whoa. Let's not spoil. I've heard literally nothing. I have not heard any plot. The one movie that I had little desire to see, I hear nothing without even really trying.
Let's be honest, though. It's Zack Snyder. You know that everybody's going to kill people.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's be honest. What happened in the Zack Snyder movie?
You don't know if the Earth blows up and everybody dies at the end?
I did know about that. I heard about that.
That's how they meet Barry Allen, because their Earth is destroyed and they show up on Earth 1.
I am going to say one thing without spoilers. I went in looking for the Barry Allen scene that I heard about, and I didn't see it.
I can explain that post-show.
Yeah, you could text us or whatever, but there was like one thing that I did see, but then the thing that I saw, I never saw it, and I was just like, I went right past it.
In a flash.
In a flash.
Oh! Well, on that note, if by chance you've randomly hopped into our Blab, this is the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. We are, believe it or not, a Marvel Universe podcast. I'm usually not the one here. There is usually my co-host on a variety of other podcasts, Stargate Pioneer, who co-hosts this podcast with Haley, who you see, Lauren, who is another amazing host, and they usually talk about the latest happenings in the TV show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other Marvel happenings. Right now, on this circle here, let's just plug away. You've also got Haley and Will, who do the Crimson Comet podcast.
Yes.
You have Chris, who does the Starling Tribune podcast. And I do the official GonnaGeek.com podcast with Chris Farrell, as well as a couple other folks, including Stargate Pioneer. And just a lot of great things at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. So check it out there, and you can see all of the crazy cross-pollination that there is happening on the GonnaGeek Network. So let's just go ahead and shut it down here. And SP, I hope that I did not disappoint you too much.
I hope I did.
This.
All right.